Hi guys, can anyone hear me? No sound. All right, guys. Double check on your speaker. So make sure your speaker is on, and perhaps you can put your sound to the maximum right now. Great. Look like some of you actually can hear me, so I believe everyone is working fine. So let me introduce myself first. I'm Jaden for the JY team. All right. So I believe some of you actually received my email before this. All right. Okay. Before we start, right? Dato Joey actually is standby right now. So before we start, let me go through with some simple function in our this chat room over here. All right. So by any time of point, right? It just in case you guys actually can't hear or can't see us or can't hear us. Okay. At the middle of your screen, by right there will be one button. It's called reconnect. So you guys just click on the reconnect button. Everything will be working fine. All right. Hi, Eamon. Hi, Sim. How are you? All right. So by any point of view, by any point of time, you guys actually have any question. So looking at your screen right now, on the bottom right-hand side there, do you see the chat box? Okay. So I will advise you guys only ask question. Type out all your question in one message itself and only send to us. So do not send us like multiple messages a few times because it's very hard for us to follow up with your question later on. All right. Okay. All right, so we're about to start right now. So, yeah. All right, so let's welcome Dato Joey here.
Hello, hello. How you guys doing? All right, how many people do we have online right now? We have, 300 plus people, and we're still expecting more to come. That's great. So, great. So I have people from all over the world, I think, logging in right now. Hi guys. Hello, Benson, Robert, Elaine. All right, cool. Lots. A lot of you guys. Cool. So, right. So today we are going to talk about this topic called "Beware of the Dog." So I know you guys are obviously from our Grow Rich with Partsa program. So which means you guys probably already have your Partsa chart. Now you need your Partsa astrology chart for this session here, so that you could actually look at your own reading and interpret what's in store for you. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is to give you a background of how is it like to do a 1 year forecast. Okay. Now this topic here will be, for some of you, might be a new topic. For some of you you've gone to some of my live events on the annual forecast. But anyway, okay, I want to show you how you can actually do this reading and to look at what is in store for you for the year of the dog. Now, there is a difference because I know some of you are mainly from Malaysia and Singapore. Singapore, you guys already been to my Feng Shui and Astrology live event on January the 7th. And a lot of you from Malaysia will be attending the one on the 27th or the 28th of January. Don't worry, this program, what I'm going to do today is a bit different. In fact, it's quite different from the program that I do in Feng Shui and Astrology, the live event. Okay, let me tell you what the difference is here. This here, it's a more technical program, and I will also address not just the positive, but the negative stars that could be affecting each animal sign or your Partsa chart. That's why I call it Beware of the Dog. The reason for that is because, when I do the big events like Feng Shui Astrology in Singapore and Penang, or in Malaysia on the 27th and 28th, normally because we have like 4,000 people in big events like this, I focus more on the positive side. Not that I don't want to address the negative, because we don't want to, some people, when I have less personal interaction with some of them, I don't want to leave the an event and thinking that, the year is not good, right? Because they don't know the action steps to actually solve it. So here, because we have more time, is on a more personal level. So I get to explain to you some of the so-called negative aspects of the year. Now, please, for some of you who are watching this, please don't be alarmed when you see something about your chart that is not good about the year, okay? Please don't be alarmed. Because the reason we study astrology or study parts is so that we equip ourselves with the right type of information, and then so that we can take the right action steps to mitigate any potential problems. That's why you want to know this early, right? To mitigate any potential problems, and so that we could have a great year, okay? You see, part of, one of the main purpose of our lives is to enjoy happiness, right? We want happiness in life, okay? And to achieve happiness, we have to constantly solve problems, okay? You cannot have happiness by not solving problems in life. Our whole life, as you know, we go through every year. Now that you've been learning parts of astrology, you know there are clashes, and then there's combinations, and then there's harms, and then there's all these things that cause us a lot of challenges along the way, right? So it's quite common that we will see some challenges, and if we don't overcome the challenges, we don't overcome these problems in life, we cannot be happy, right? So when we look at a forecast for the year, we are bound to see both positive and negatives, and the negatives are the challenges and the problems that come along the way. So what we need to do is to equip ourselves with the right information, okay, and then prepare ourselves so that we can mitigate or solve the problems, not prevent them, okay? You're not trying to prevent problems from happening. We can't prevent all the problems from happening, but we can solve them, right? We can try and solve them, or at least mitigate them or reduce their impact. And possibly at some point in time, we want to be able to turn these problems into opportunities, if it's ever possible. Sometimes it's possible. And then so that we can enjoy our lives, right, and be happy, right? So that's the whole purpose of our program today, okay? So now, while I will be primarily talking about from the perspective of Bazi, because most of you are from the Grow Rich with Bazi program, I will also be talking a little bit about Feng Shui, and a little bit about Cheemun Dunjia, because if you want to see the big picture of the year, we have to use different tools, okay? So, but I'll try to stick more to Bazi, because I know most of you are, from Bazi students. So that's why from that perspective, you understand this a bit more. But I have to include something like Feng Shui and Cheemun, because that gives you a more complete picture and know exactly what you can do, what action steps you can take in order to have a great year, okay? So now, of course, along the way, you can also post some of the questions. I can actually read your questions on the screens that I see on the side here, okay? So some of you are asking now, would there be a rerun later on? Will there be a rerun?
It will be uploaded to the account.
Yes. So we're going to upload this later on, but yeah, we're going to upload this later on so that you can actually rewatch it. But I hope you can stay for the live version, because then I get to answer your questions live, okay, from here. Okay, so this will be like a live event. So go ahead and do ask your questions. And in a short while, I'm going to run through some of these questions and pick some of these to answer, okay? All right, so let's begin now. For the year of the dog, now how do we do a forecast? It's normally we start with the forecast by looking at, okay, how do I change this? Okay, yes. So I'm going to show you this. This is the chart for the year. Now, I do know that some of you might find the text a bit small. Please don't worry. Will they get a copy of this? Yeah. Okay. Right. So later on, we will have some downloadable notes for you, so you can get some of these slides. Okay. Please do not worry. Do not be alarmed. Don't get stressed out. It's just a webinar. Okay. Don't get too stressed out with it. We're going to give you this copy later. Okay. So for now, just watch and enjoy. Okay. Now, this here is February the 4th, 2018, and it's about 5:30 in the morning. Let me just move away from here. This is about 5:30 in the morning, and that is the transition time to the year of the dog. Okay, this is the transition to the year of the dog. So the year of the Earth dog. This is the chart, and this is what we use to forecast what is in store, what are the opportunities, what are the problems, what are the challenges, and overall theme and all that for the year, okay? So, of course, let me start now. This is not what I will normally explain in the Feng Shui Astrology event, because that one is for the beginners, right? They're not students. You guys are the students, so I'm going to tell you a bit more, okay? So, see this here, Okay, this character here is, I know you can read this now, right? This Yang Earth, and then this is the word dog. Okay, for the word Shi is for the word the Chinese earthly branch to represent dog. Okay, so what happens is, you look at this character, this here. This is the sign for Chinese character that normally it's if you know Chinese character, it normally involves armies and weapons. Okay, so you have both this on the year pillar. So a lot of people are very concerned about the tension between the countries right now, or would there any be ISIS issues or fights or terrorist problems? Well, there is a sign of it. Okay, there is a sign of a lot of these so-called tensions and war conflicts around the world. But of course, someone would say, is it going to be because Trump and North Korea are going to get into a fight? If we look at the feng shui and the Qimeng chart later on, we probably discover that a lot of this tension probably will start in the Middle East as opposed to North Korea. Okay, and I'll show you a chart later on that I can explain why and why we think it's like that. And again, none of this is carved in stone. It's just an opinion. It's just my opinion. Of course, we could be wrong in this, of course, but this is look from an academic perspective. Okay, so there is conflicts, and you see here the whole chart here. There's a hidden yin metal in the chart. Okay, this is like a hidden weapon, hidden the terrorists in hiding, for example, ready to pounce their attack. So we have this in the chart. Okay, so when could be a possible timing for this? Well, when these elements are clash. Okay, for example, the clash months such as April to September, when these two elements are clash, or August when this element is clash, or even the October month when the dog is in the most typical strongest point, okay, in the year. So that's when these elements clash and when the weapons or the armies rise. Okay, so that's generally what the feel is like. Okay, but we got to look at it from a collective perspective as well. So someone is asking about the theme, so that's what the theme is, but it doesn't mean that everybody has this problem. Certain people might have more of that problem, or certain people will actually benefit as a result of the energies of the year. Okay, now one of the ways to read the chart is like this. Okay, this is for the overall theme. Okay, and later on I'm going to take this and explain it based on your chart. Okay, so now the year generally is like the overall feel of the year. The month is like the entire community for the world. Okay, you see, everyone has to do something. Okay, everyone has to do something. 70% of our time awake is working on something. Okay, we work on our careers, we work on our goals, our dreams. We're doing something, production. Okay, we're going to be productive, right? So this represents wood element, which is the overall theme and highlight of the year. So what could make the headline news for most of the corporates, right? The investments, what could be the news? Now, I'm not saying they will make money. I'm just saying that these are probably the news of the year, okay? As you can see, it's the majority of wood element in this case here. So agriculture, plantation, education, chipboard manufacturing, all this is wood-based, okay? So this could be like most of the corporate activities are in there, okay? Maybe, and also there's a lot of competition, by the way, yeah? So these fields, right? So a lot of people coming up, maybe the new way, like a lot of online teaching, because Wood and Fire is about technology. For example, you have sites like now education sites, or a lot of universities are moving online, or podcasts, all that academic or information, right? People are teaching stuff. That will become like the highlight, okay? Probably that's the direction of a lot of tech companies as well in 2018. Okay, so as you can see from the chart, wood is dominant and wood is fighting with earth. Okay, and so earth element could be related to mountains or earth. So one of the questions that people ask is, will there be like major catastrophes or problems? Well, since earth, wood, for example, for those of you who are studying Yi Jing or studying feng shui, you know that when you put all these wood together, it forms the East Zhen Gua. Zhen Gua is the thunder hexagram, right? The thunder striking on the earth causes earthquakes. So one of the things that we could see calamity-wise, it could be earthquake issue. It could be, now, once there's earthquake, like how tsunami starts also because of all these problems, okay? Now, why do we mention the word water-related problems? Because the only water is here, there's 7 killings for the year. So water could be one of the major catastrophes, lack of it or too much of it. Okay, lack of water is a problem. Too much of water is also a problem. Okay, because this is 7 killings, which represents problems. For those of you who look, personal chart represents 7 killing represents what? Problems, right? So on a year chart, that means 7 killings also the problem, right? So this chart can also explain the health aspects that could be a majority concern for a lot of people. For example, we see wood and earth in the first 2 columns here, okay? And we look at the rabbit sign appearing here. So what can this tell us? Okay, first of all, when wood counters this earth is like the backbone. So back-related issues could be a major thing. Joint-related issues could be a major thing, right? So wood and earth together could be what? Stomach-related issues, right? And the next thing, gynecological issues. For those of you studying the health topic on Bazi, probably will see rabbit and rooster is a major problem for health. And then the water counter fire is heart issues, okay? So if this appears in an individual's chart, okay, now, how we read Bazi is this. I know probably you haven't learned Bazi in detail yet because right now you're just going through maybe module 4, module 5 of the Grow Rich, okay? And because it's not a technical program, right? But let me just give you a big picture. Suppose you see any of these patterns appearing in anyone's specific Bazi chart. As it appears, so it will also coincide with the chart that that person has. That means that person could have this type of problems being activated in this particular year, okay? Now, again, don't be alarmed when you see this, okay? Because this, I'm explaining, as I said, beware of the dog is talking about the problems of the year, okay? A little bit of positive, but a lot about what it could be in the year. When I talk about the positive things, it will be on Feng Shui astrology events that you see on January 7th I did in Singapore and or that's going to happen in Kuala Lumpur on the 27th, 28th. I'm just talking the positive aspects. Now, I want to see the deeper picture first, okay? This normally I don't discuss in public, okay? So that's in the overall picture, right? Now, we can actually go quite deep into the explanation, but let me just give you a simple view of this. Can I see the next picture, please? Yeah. Okay. All right. So here, what I did here is to translate it to, okay, I'm going to put the microphone closer. Now, what I did here is to translate it into a 5-element picture for you so that you could actually see, instead, if you can't read this chart at this point in time, you can actually see it in a pictorial form. So a lot of people probably will be asking, so can we say like what would be the most dominant element for the year? Yes, the dominant element is wood, okay? The dominant element for the entire year is wood. That's why wood-related industries and or businesses might get the overall headline news for the year, okay? Now, bear in mind that if you were in Singapore, okay, for my January 7 event previously, you noticed that the size were different. Why? Because we took Singapore's chart to superimpose over the year to get a different chart. And for those of you who are in Malaysia, we take Malaysia, August 31st, 1957, the birthday of the year, and then superimpose over the chart, and then the size will change, okay? And for those in America, in New York, in Orlando, or in Los Angeles, or some of you in Europe, in UK, the chart size would generally change because every country has its own elements, and it will shift the element, the outcome here, okay? Now, let me show you big picture, and then let me give you a little bit of the details of how you can see on a specific country, for example, okay? Now, I can't go through all the countries, of course, just some generic explanation, okay? Again, today is about describing how to do something, okay? It is not about giving you the exact details of every single forecast, yeah? Just the big picture for now. So when we see wood, fire, and earth, this would be the general direction, the theme of the year, right? So wood-related industries might hog the headlines, followed by fire, so oil and gas might make a return, for example, and earth. Properties might actually be better, or real estate be better, or more construction, development, infrastructure, or this is earth-related, okay? The weakest is still metal, right? The weakest is still metal, so metal related to financial institutions. However, if you look at metal in America, which is strong, okay? The element for the states, USA, combining USA's chart together with the 5 elements for 2018, this was one of the bigger elements. So you find that the markets, for example, the economy or the job market, even in the States, will be very good compared to the overall picture of the year, okay? So states will do well, right? But when it comes to, let's say, you're talking about Malaysia, Singapore, or even Hong Kong, the elements might be smaller. In fact, it's stronger in wood and fire on this side of the world, okay? So that's the difference between the elements. Now, how does this affect an individual? It's very simple, okay? We look at your own personal chart. if your business is global or you're doing business with different countries in the world, then this chart is very important. Do you have wood element in your chart? So we look at your personal Bazi chart, okay? Your personal Bazi chart. So look at your chart and look for whether or not you have wood element in the chart. If you have, then the majority of the strongest element is in your destiny chart. So which means you will be able to find a lot of the opportunities presented in that particular year, okay? Now, if you don't have wood, that means any of your destiny chart, if you don't have wood, you might want to check whether you have the fire element. If you do have the fire element, that means in some ways you're also having the second most dominant element in your destiny chart, which means you see a lot of opportunities, okay? So if you don't have that, maybe you want to check earth, okay? So that is called looking for the opportunities that are hidden within a specific year, okay? So we look at a chart now. Show me a chart on the screen here. Can I control the slides? It's easier for me to do that. Okay, can I see that, please? The sample charts. Okay, bring this up. Okay, now you see this chart here, clearly it doesn't have any wood element. Okay, you see here now, for example, yeah, metal, okay, and you have metal and earth, water and wood, metal and earth. Do you see any of the fire element in this chart? Or very little inside, okay? So in general, this is someone that doesn't have much of the opportunities in the year, okay? So show me something more lighthearted. Can you like give me a good chart at least? Because this guy will suck in 2018. Okay, all right. I'm just kidding. Yeah, don't worry. Okay, now can we just give me another sample chart, please? You have a lot of sample charts. Yeah, you prepared just now? Yeah, just give me another one. Yeah, here's another one. Okay, cool. So this is someone. Can you see here? All right. Earth, fire. You have a dominant element, right? And the dominant element, where do you see it? It's on the year. Okay. So there's earth, wood. Now wood is pretty good as well, okay? And wood is here. So the first thing we look at our chart is to look at where the dominant elements are in the first place, okay? Look at where the dominant element are first. If you see that you have the fire element and wood element in the chart, generally the first news 2018, on a big picture perspective, you have pretty good fortune. The question is good fortune for what purpose, right? Yeah, at least you know it's good, all right? The first thing. So what I want you to do right now is to go and look at your chart and find out year, month, day, hour, and scan it for the wood and fire element, okay? This is generic for the whole world, okay? Just look at whether you have those elements or not, okay? Now you do that right now, yeah? Wherever you see it. Don't look at the luck pillars for now. Just look at your year, month, day, and hour. Okay, can you see that? All right. So, listen. Here's what you should not be doing. Don't look for any elements that I didn't ask you to look for. That's what you shouldn't be doing. Okay. Here's how you can worry yourself sick: is to look at the elements that are not good. Okay. Don't do that. Right. I don't know why people do this shit. Just don't do it. Okay. I asked you to look for wood and fire. So can you just do that? Right. Look for wood and fire. Right. So look for the good. Don't ignore the bad. Some of you are like, oh shit, I've got this bullying punishment shit in my chart. I got this clash. Listen, I'm not going to talk about that yet. It does not matter. Just look at the good things first, step by step. Okay. Again, some of you are like, oh shit, I got this hidden element shit in my chart. Listen, I don't care. Right. I just want you to look at big picture. Look at big picture. Okay. I'm going to be very strict here. Look at big picture first. All right. We're going to get to details later. All right. So big picture, do you see here, there? Look at the big picture first, all right? First, you must know, do you have it in the chart? If you have fire and wood, okay, and the third is earth, generally, you will be surrounded by the force, okay? The force is with you. If you have the good fortune in your chart, here's the thing. Most of the time, you already have opportunities. Okay, because some people complain, oh, I don't have all the opportunities. My life sucks. It's not like that. Okay, if you have it, that means you have the elements with you. The only question is, are you able to take advantage of the positive elements? Okay, so if you have the good elements in your chart, you have to do something. Okay, now this is the next step. Okay, step by step here, step by step. Yeah. Okay, Some of you are asking, can you explain the clash? The answer is no. I'm not going to do that, yeah, because it's not part of this shit that I'm trying to tell you now. So please just listen to the main picture first, yeah. First, okay, and I'm not going to explain Canada's chart, all right? I'm not going to do that. Okay, listen. First, if you have the fire and the wood element, that means you have opportunities. What must you do? Okay, here's what. If you discover your chart is good, you need to make a conscious decision to 10x your life. Meaning you have to be more proactive. That's the first decision. Okay. If you discover that your chart do not have any of the top 3 elements in your chart, okay, any of the top 3 elements, then maybe not 100%, but maybe 2018 is one of those years you should be consolidating, looking inwards, fixing the internal problems instead of trying to expand. Okay, because all expansion and growth requires time, effort, energy, and maybe even money. Okay, and so when you 10x your life and do more, you should do it if and when you have the positive energy in your chart. Okay, here's the problem with most people. Okay, when they have good luck, they do nothing, and then when they have bad luck, they do everything. Okay, this is the worst. All right, so you don't want to do that. See, this is the problem when sometimes, you know, I've been in this business for 22 years and I see people come to me and say, you know what, hey, you know, you say last year I will have a good year and I didn't have a good year. How come you're not accurate? Then I ask them, so what did you do last year? I didn't do anything. See, that's the problem. When you have good luck, you need to do everything. Okay, you can change jobs, you can start your business, all right, you can get married, do a lot of things that you normally won't do, right? But when you have bad luck, when the energy is not there, what should you do? Do nothing, right? If you don't, for example, don't start the business, right? You don't change your job, you don't change your house, you don't get married, you don't get divorced, don't do anything, then nothing bad can possibly happen to you because you didn't do anything, right? So that's why when you see your chart is good, what should you be doing? You should be doing more things, right? So it's not the other way around, right? So the first thing you want to do is look at whether or not you have the positive elements, okay? When you do, you know that you have good fortune. Now the question, next step. Are you ready for the next step? The next step is, which area of your life should you be working on? Okay, because the information, you must make use of the information in order to take action. Okay, so I'm going to show you now. Okay, if the positive element is in the year column, okay, the positive element is in the year column, that means, as you know from the Grow Rich with Partha program, in the year column, your network, your friends, your connections, they're all good. Okay, your industry is good, your market condition is good. Okay, your market condition is good. So what must you do? 2018, focus on building your market, building the leads, nourishing your group of followers. For example, building a following, right? You want to build a fan base, okay? Because this is a great year for you to do it. Everybody seems to be, you know, supporting you. So you want to do that, right? Your market condition. So it's very important, right? So let me put it in a more simple way for you to understand, right? Suppose you are not happy with your husband and you're thinking about trying to divorce him and find a new husband. Before you do that, please check your market, right? If you have good market this year, then by all means, go out and divorce him and find a new guy, right? But suppose you don't have market this year, then you just keep quiet, stay home, stay with him for 1 more year and then decide a year later, all right? So, I mean, this is a general way of looking at the market condition, okay? I'm not specifically trying to say you should divorce. I'm just saying, check your market, right? So let's say you launch a business, right? You will launch your whatever ideas or plans you want to start, you know, building your network and building your following, start a Facebook page or a YouTube channel, whatever you're trying to do, please check market. Now, suppose your market, it's not good because you have all these crappy elements here and a bad animal sign. We're short while we're going to talk about animal signs, not good here, for example. What must you do? Okay, again, we're talking about strategies here. So, you know, you may not have the so-called luck or energy, but what's stopping you from looking for, you know, the right co-founder, the right business partner, all right, the right support, right? Because everything we want in life comes from the help of other people, right? So you want to look at your friends' charts, your business partners' charts, your wife's charts, your employees' charts. Look at the people who may be able to help you, and if they have great market condition, then maybe you want to get them to work on those areas for you. See what I mean? So that's why you need you need to read the destiny chart this way. Okay, you're not going to, oh, you know, I have a pretty shitty year and that's it, I'm going to suffer this year. No, you're not. Okay, you're going to do something about it. That's why we call this, you know, beware of the dog. You beware what's happening, and then you change it. Okay, you can change this. Now, next, look at the month. The month, all the information in the month talks about your performance in your work and career. Should you excel? Should you, you know, accelerate, right? Should you, you know, branch out? Should you start a new line of products? Should you start a new line of services, right? Should you, you know, expand and hire more people? Should you inject more capital into your work, right? Or should you start that new business that you've been dreaming about? So all these questions relate to your career and your income, correct? Now, should you make this sort of important decision? Well, you want to see whether or not the opportunities are in your favor, correct? So what do? You study this column, okay? If the elements are right, that means the opportunities are pretty good. If the animal branch is good, then you can take that specific action in order to benefit from and ride the wave for the year in order to be positive, okay? So that represents your career, right? Your career or your job or your business, it's all here, okay? How about the day? Okay, so the day in any year, okay, the day here, the energy here represents your personal relationships. Now, a personal relationship basically means, you know, the meaning that you give to all the communications and the connections in your personal level, especially with your spouse, with your, you know, your husband, your wife, or the people very close to you, okay? So, you see, the thing is, people always want a good relationship, right? They want a good relationship. But the problem is, are they doing anything to nurture that relationship? Are they doing anything to actually build that relationship further, right? Most of the time, you ask them, you know, what you doing for a relationship? Oh, I'm waiting for the other person to do something for me, okay? No, you don't do that. If it's a good year, you want to work on doing something meaningful together, okay? Create the meaning, right? Go for the nice trip that you want to go. You know, start a new study together, learn something together, you know, go to certain places and experience, create the experience and create the memories together that is meaningful. I mean, if you go home and watch TV and she watch TV and you watch TV and there's nothing to do, and then how can you build a good relationship, right? So that's why if the elements are positive, do something meaningful. In fact, do it a lot so that you can build and strengthen that relationship, because you're building meaningful memories together. I mean, if it's not good, then what do you do? Then do nothing. Just go and watch TV and don't say anything, right? So that's how you should that's how you can avoid the major problems, okay? So now this part here, this one is important because that's the hour. So when you look at the hour, we are looking at two things, okay? Traditional parts, we're looking at our connection with our children. But in our Grow Rich with Partha program, we have learned that the hour column represents your investment opportunities. It also represents your ambition, your vision, your inspiration this year, your ability to create. So it's very important now. If you want if you want to have more passion, right? You want to be more inspired. You want to be more driven. Yeah, look at the elements here. Okay, if the elements are favorable here, then it is good to find the resources, become resourceful so that you can chase your dreams. When the elements are blocked here, it's hard to get the right team together, hard to hire people, harder to raise funds, and sometimes no idea. Okay, so if you don't have any of the positive elements here, you got to work with people who do. Okay, sometimes we don't have to be the ones generating the ideas all the time. Sometimes the best ideas come from, you know, all your friends, right? The friends next to you. So check their charts, right? You might be able to see that. So this is what you need to do. So this is only the first step. What is it again? Look at the positive elements for the year and see if you have it. Which areas of your life would you find those opportunities? Okay. Of course, the next step is to go deeper into the astrology. So I'm going to talk about the 12 animal signs here, okay? Now, hold on a second, yeah? Give me back the chart here. Okay, so give me the, yeah, okay. So now what you have is your sample chart. Let's look at your sample chart on the screen, okay? Okay, so now I will go to questions late in a short while. I can go on and on talking for the whole day. So let me see. Okay, yeah, I think you guys are pretty much on track. Now the next part. Okay, in your destiny chart, you will see 4 animal signs. Okay. Now I have already released some animal forecast videos that I do on deep level analysis on each of the different types of animal signs, and it's being released right now on joeyyap.com/2018, or it's on my Facebook, so you get to watch it. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about stuff that I already am talking about. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a bit more details about what you see in the chart. Okay, so I want you to first to follow this, because I know that probably right now is up to module 4 or module 5 of Grow Rich with Partha. So a lot of you are still very new. Okay, so I want you to take note that you actually have 4 animal signs here. So for this person here is snake, dragon, tiger, dog. Okay, all right. So now you have 4 animal signs, right? Now I know some of you are going to ask, what about my luck pillar? What about this pillar and that pillar? Listen, I'm not interested. I just want to look at 4 things. All right. Now, this part here will be the topic that I didn't discuss or haven't talked about in my 12 animal videos. So you still have to watch those videos to give, and those videos are free, by the way. You can watch to get more information on each animal sign. I'm just going to talk about the changes part here. Okay, so let's look at the overall chart for the year again, 2018. Okay. Now, first of all, yeah, give me the 2018 chart, please. Okay. All right. So, first of all, notice this. Can you see in the 2018 chart that there is double rabbits in the chart? Okay, there's a double rabbit. Now, the first big clash is that rabbit clash rooster. Correct? Rabbit clash rooster. Okay, and there's double rabbits already in the year sign, so it definitely will clash rooster. All right. Now you check your chart. How many of you have rooster? Okay, so for those with the rooster element in the chart, 2018 will be a possible change. Okay, now I don't say it's a problem. People always see clash as, oh, clash is going to be a problem, right? It's a problem if you don't accept change, right? But look at your chart and see if there's rooster. How many of you have rooster in your chart? Just have a quick check. Okay, now if you see rooster in the chart, your rooster can be here, 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 or here, correct? Could be anywhere in your chart. If it is in the year, possible change of industry, market condition, environment, okay? So that could be a change in terms of friends. Maybe some of your friends you won't meet and you will change a different group of friends, for example, yeah? Or maybe the rooster is in the month, okay? If it's in the month, then you can expect career-related change. Now, what could be a career-related change? Either you change or someone change you, okay? And or the structure of your business or your career might change, okay? If it's here in the day, it could mean 2 things: relationship change, right? Or maybe in the house, because it also represents your home, maybe you're not staying home so much this year. A lot of traveling, okay? A lot of moving about. Or maybe a clash in terms of your home palace. Maybe you're renovating your house, okay? That sort of change. Or maybe there is a personal life transforming event that could happen. Okay, now what could be a life transforming event? On a positive note, that means you learn a new skill, you discover something about yourself, become more aware, and then you change yourself. That's a positive way. A negative way of change could be you meet through maybe a big disaster, okay, or an accident that forcefully have to force you to change your lifestyle, okay? So again, I'm just being extreme here. It may not be like this, okay? It may not be like this. It's very rare it could be like this, but sometimes if it were to happen, usually it's like this. There must be clash somewhere, okay? But take note, one clash is not going to end you in the hospital, okay? It's not going to happen unless all of it is a clash. Like every single element is a freaking clash, including your luck pillars, and then you do a clash-related activity, then possible you have that issue. So it's very hard to have that extreme problem that ends you up in the hospital. So if you only have one clash in the day, it could mean a lot more arguments than before. Or maybe you have a change of heart in terms of relationship. And or if you're single, you might get married. If you're already married, then maybe there's a bit of arguments. Or maybe you're moving houses. Okay? If it is an hour pillar, there's a clash. It could be you're selling some assets, right? You're letting go of some stocks, letting go of some equity because it's a change in our pillar, is a change in investment, remember? Okay, or maybe you are, some of your ideas that you previously held very dear in your life, you have to let go or change due to some experiences that you go through in your life, okay? So it could be a life-transforming idea, or it could be a life-transforming situation where you discover something new about yourself and then you let go of some past, for example. All this could be painful if you hang on to it, okay? But if you don't hang on to it, you allow change to happen, it'll be all right. Now, on another scale, the rooster and rabbit clash does indicate possible betrayal, okay? So a betrayal can only happen in this way, okay? Not every time people will betray you. A betrayal can only happen if and when in the previous year, you already gone into a partnership, and that partnership, you didn't check his or her parts, and you enter into a situation where it's already dicey in the first state. And then now you come to a state where it can, there's a lot of money involved, or there's certain money involved, and then the lines are not clear. And then you place too much trust on that person, and then the person didn't do something according to your expectation. That could lead to the problem. Now, when can that happen? If the rooster is in these two columns, okay? If in these two columns, there's a possible situation that could happen. So what do you do? It hasn't happened yet. You can be careful and take note. Make sure the contract is clear. Prevent this from happening. Okay? Now, besides rooster, I want you to take note of this. Can you see tiger and dog at the same time? So, zoom into this part. Yeah. Move it out. Move it. Okay. So, tiger and dog. Okay? So, you know that tiger, dog, the missing element in this combination is horse. Okay? For those of you who study Bazi, horse, tiger, dog is a combination. So you already have two, and it will pull in the horse. So horse has a major positive effect in this chart, because it sort of unites these two elements, and the wood also produces and strengthens the fire. Can you move this down a little bit so you can see the chart here? Can you see yin fire? And horse, if you study traditional Bazi, the horse contains the roots of yin fire. So horse is very important. So one of the biggest breakthrough animal signs that I find that like all those people with horse will probably make headline news in the year, or make major impact or major contribution to the industry they work in, or they do, basically they're important. Okay, that's what it means. So why don't you look at your chart right now? Do you see horse anywhere? Let's have a quick look. Tell me who's got horse. Give me a note on the screen here. Do you have it in your year, month, day, and hour? Okay, look at the horse. All right, some of you have it in year, some now. Okay. Cool. All right, good. Okay. Now, cool. Now, all those of you who have horse in the chart, okay, listen. First I give you the good news, right? It can be an epic year for you. Okay? It can be an epic year for you. However, to have an epic year, here's what you need to do. You need to do epic things. Okay? So if you don't plan to do an epic thing in 2018, you're not going to have an epic year. All right? Now, the reason for horse is not just because it has good stars, right? It is because it is the uniting factor of the chart, and it's also the roots of the day master. Because this is the only fire, and it's rooted in horse, and its double element combines with pulls in the horse element. Okay, so the horse has got many good stars as well. It's got the general star this year. It's got the golden chest. It's also got the earth relief star. Okay, so all of positive stars in the year for those born with the horse sign. Okay, so when it comes to work, okay, now especially if you're horse in the month, okay, I have horse in the month too. Yeah, so for those of us who have horse in the month, we're gonna put like 10x effort in our career. We're gonna expand. We're gonna grow. We're gonna hire people. We're gonna put in a lot of capital back, invested in our companies to grow it. But you can only get the results if you're willing to commit that 100% or 110% into it. Okay, so we want horse to be here. Now, if you're horse in the year, this will be a great year for you to build that market that you always want to build. Okay, work on the market. Start your YouTube channel, start your Facebook channel, start your following on Twitter. You gotta work on that. It's not, listen, having the good stars is only the first part of the equation. Okay, if you don't do the work, you're not gonna get the outcome. All right, you got to do the work. Otherwise, what's going to happen is going to see a lot of your friends and competitors succeed, and you don't. Why? Because the good things have to happen to somebody. And since it's not you, you didn't do anything. Therefore, you're going to see your friends and your colleagues and your competitors succeed, and that's not very fun to see. Okay, the worst thing in life is to see people you don't like succeeding instead of you. All right, so you don't like that happening. So that's for horse. Now horse is here. Okay, day of horse. Day of horse is great because day of horse means that first of all it'll be a self-improvement year. Okay. Now, although we say you know it's a relationship thing, right? That you get good relationship, but you see the reason why you got good relationships is because you start knowing your value, you start improving yourself. When we become better, our relationships will become better too. Okay. When we have more to offer, our relationships become better because the people around us will become happier. Okay. So therefore, it's so important, right? And then the hour, if you have an hour, wow, this is a great year to pursue your ideas, bring the resources in, you know, get connected with your dreams again, right? Relook at your strategies for the year. It'll be great, okay? So, but you need to work on that, yeah? So this is called horse. Our horse is great. So now you know 2 animal signs. Now, there's a long, long story here, okay? But this is generally what it means, okay? We're looking for the horse, yeah? Cool. Now, let me answer the other questions about dragons. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of water right now. Okay, so now some of you may have this question, okay? 2018 is year of the dog. Shouldn't dog be clashing with dragon? And if you look at the dragon, dragon is called the Grand Duke, right? The clashing with Grand Duke here, okay? So is it a problem? Well, let's look at it this way, okay? Clashing with Grand Duke is not always a major problem, okay? In some years, it may, if for older folks, it might be a problem, okay? But then again, these days, I don't know what is the definition of old, right? I talk to 70-year-old guys and they don't think they're old, right? And so it's hard definition for that. Some people at 80-year-olds still think they're really young, right? So it's okay. Clashing with Grand Duke in the old days is about health issues, okay? But what it really means this year, watch, okay? In 2018, when dragon and dog clashes, the dragon stores water. And if you look at the water here, okay, this is the only water in 2018, okay? And the water, now watch this, water sees fire element, but only one fire element that is supported by all the wood. So when we do shifting palettes, now again, I know you guys are a lot of beginners in Patsa, but hopefully you will go deeper and finish the program, grow Patsa, and even go beyond that, learn a bit more, then you will know what I'm talking about. For now, just hear me now, believe me later, okay? Hear me now, believe me later. I just want to show you a big picture, okay? For water element, if from the water element's perspective, the fire is the wealth, okay? The best thing to do is to have a strong, solid wealth element, and you are able to control. It means you have enormous wealth-related opportunities, okay? So everyone's saying, you know, will I be rich? Will I get make more money? So you want to look at whether you have dragon. Now, dragon, once we clash with the dragon from the dog, the water is released. When the water is released, it can counter the fire to make the money. So water becomes stronger. So here is the good and bad news for dragon. If you have dragon in a chart, big change or big problems in 2018. But if you can solve the problem or control the problem, you can have enormous wealth opportunities in the year. So we actually like this. Now, if you are an achiever, okay, it really depends on what type of personality are you. Are you the A player? Are you B player? Are you a C player? Okay, or are you a D player? So a C player basically hates problem and is scared of problem. D player don't even know what is going on, okay? If you're a B player, you need motivation. If A player, you don't need motivation. You are driven. Now, if you are dragon and you are an A player, then this clash with the Grand Duke in 2018 could be your enormous breakthrough year, okay? Major problem, yes. But because of that also means major rewards. If you're a B player, that means you're someone that needs motivation. Well, unfortunately, I can't motivate you. So you got to find someone who can motivate you to go through the problem when you see it. If you're a C player and a D player, then definitely 2018, you're going to have big problems because the dragon will be clashed by the dog, which have the strong support of the tiger. So it's a major clash for you. Major problems, maybe losing job, major issues, stuff like that. Okay, so you got to ask yourself, are you A player, B player, C player, or D player? Okay, again, I'm not going to go through whether year, month, day, or hour, because I already explained that like 1,000 times. So you probably already can put that information together. Remember, you got to put two pieces of information together. Okay, so you know when dragon appears here, it governs your financial investments. Here is your relationships. Here is your career. Here is your network and friends. Okay, so wherever the clash is, that is the major topic of change. Okay. So no matter how many clashes you have, the question is, are you able to fall in love with the problem? Okay, I didn't say that, right? Let me repeat again. You got to fall in love with the problem. If you don't like problems, you hate problems, and you're scared of problems, then this clash of Grand Duke in 2018, it's going to be very painful for you, because wow, big change. You might be forced away from the job, you lose money, might be major problems, challenges, illness, etc. But if you're someone that say, bring it on, right? I'm okay with it. Just bring on the challenge. I'm going to fight this, and I love the challenge. It'll be great for you. Okay, let me give you an example. If you want to lose weight, okay, if you want to lose weight, and you've been trying it for many times, okay, and you don't succeed, that is because you haven't fallen in love with the process of losing weight. You think about it. When you see, sometimes in your town, in your country, in your little place that you stay, the people who are jogging at 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning don't really need to be jogging at 5 to 6 a.m. in the morning. Okay, they are the skinny, slim, and fit people. Whereas that fat person is still sleeping at home, okay? And he's still talking about losing weight, not jogging in the morning. Now, why is it that some people can lose it? Because they love the process of that exercises and keeping fit. So they get the benefit of being slim and healthy. So if you want to succeed in 2018 and you have dragons in your chart, you're going to have to love that clash. That means those challenges, that problems, that obstacles, that fundraising that you need to go through, that those networks and the people that you don't like to meet, you have to still meet them and talk business with them. You have to fall in love with that. If you fall in love with the problem and succeed in controlling the problem, you will get the rewards. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so this is why it's so important to understand. No matter how many dragons you have to chart, be careful that you will have the problem, but you got to enjoy solving the problem. If you do that, you will get the outcome that you want. If not, okay, then here's my prediction for you. You're going to have a terrible year. Okay, terrible because you hate problems. All right, so that's the same. All right, wherever the dragon appears. So I would say, remember, the mantra for this is this: say to yourself, bring it on. Okay, your career, there will be career-related problems. There will be politics there. They're trying to oust you in your career. So before they oust you, you oust them first. Okay, so that's what you need to do. You need to take on this challenge. If it's a love problem, you know it's going to happen. Confront the problem up front. Talk about it. Don't just keep it with you and try and solve it by mental telepathy. It's not going to work, right? You need to solve it early. Solve the problem before it happens. That's what you need to do, okay? So that's how you do it. So that's the dragon, all right? So now what we've gone through, it's general picture about the year, okay? Now, so we're going to go to the a bit of the feng shui process so you can check this out, okay? Now, this is how you soften it and help you win, okay? Give me the feng shui chart. Okay. You know the feng shui chart. Come on, give me the feng shui chart. Come on. Yes. Okay. So this is the feng shui chart for 2018. Okay, I'm just going to stand away from the camera so you can see it. So this here, it's the flying star chart for the year, and it's supposed to tell you all the sectors that are positive and negative for the year. So you could use this to enhance your energy level to help you solve the problem or enhance the opportunities or your ability to conquer the year. Okay, so you use this as a supplement. Now, since this chart, I already explained this in the Triverse guide Therefore, I won't go detailed into this. I'm going to give you something that's not in the Thriver's Guide, so move deeper into it, okay? So first of all, do you know where to download the Thriver's Guide? Okay, if not, then show them the link to download the Thriver's Guide. Okay, I'm going to show you the download Thriver's Guide, and then I'll give you details of the Feng Shui chart. Come on, there's a slide for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Where is it? Thriver's Guide. Yeah. There you go. Okay. So, yeah. So this is the link. All right. This is a book I've written. You don't see the link because it's right here. Okay. It's joeyup.com/2018. Go there and download. The Feng Shui aspect is there. I'm going to go deeper into the study right now. So, but you got to have this because that gives you the background information that I won't explain here. Okay. All right. So now let's go to the Xuan Kong Dagua chart for 2018. Okay. Go ahead quick. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So this chart here, again, it will be on your downloads later on, so you can see it. So now, can you see these sectors here? They're all explaining the in a hexagram format for each sector. Again, based on the Thriver's Guide, you know how to look at the sectors of your house. So this represents the various sectors in your home. Okay. Now, so we are going to look at a few things. First of all, can you see this hexagram here? This hexagram is called traveling. Okay. So here, can you see here? Now, this is supposed to be a wealth star, and it has the traveling hexagram. Now, what does the traveling hexagram? It doesn't actually mean traveling alone. It means gaining the necessary experiences in order for you to excel. Remember, there are two ways to excel or to become a master in any skill. Number one, it is education. Number two is experience. So one of the ways to maximize this wealth star is to gain the experience of managing and running the business that you want to run, and or gaining the experience that you need to move on to the next level. Okay, so this is very important. And plus, in here, your Southeast 1, 2, 3. Southeast 1 is the dragon sector. Southeast 3 is where the very auspicious star, the Emperor star, the dragon virtue star is located. So you need to find out where the Southeast 3 sector is in your house and activate it maybe with water element, and or put your study desk or work desk in that area to do your thinking and analysis. That's how you activate the positive energy from this particular sector. Okay, so please take note of that. Okay, now this sector here is very important. Okay, so here is, we know from the basic chart is star 4, which is education, but you know that there's a hexagram called well hexagram. Now the well hexagram is about working together. It's about unity, getting the right people. You know, the hexagram well is lining up and taking water from the well in a structured manner. So what you need to do is, in your life, you need to structure, organization, planning. Okay. So if you're using this sector, you got to have structure over your business. You have to have the plan out you organize your year, plan out the whole thing. Now, a lot of people don't plan at all. Yeah. A lot of people have a simple plan, or they have a freaking to-do list. You don't need a to-do list. You need you don't have a goal list. Okay. You got to have what is your actual, game plan? How do you reach to the end? Okay. As long as you have the game plan, and the next thing, who are the players? Get the players in. If you're using this sector, get the players. And the next level is this one. Okay. This, although it's a star 6, is called eliminating. What happens in eliminating sector is this. It's about the sector of execution, but you execute by reducing your burden and reducing your problem. Remember this keyword. It is not about the people you hire. It's about the people you don't fire that allows you to succeed. So you may say, but I'm not working in a company. I can't fire anyone. It's those friends that you don't need at this time. Okay. You see, although every society teaches to be helpful to other people, but sometimes if you're using this sector, you got to understand, we are also surrounded by a lot of people that actually don't deserve, your time, because your time is precious. Eliminate the baggage, move forward faster. That's what it means if you're using this particular sector. So this 3 sector, in fact, the most important sector that you need to use to enhance or to move forward in your life. And the last one is this. Okay. Okay. This sector here. The officer hexagram, which is supposed to mean noble people. Okay. Now, officer means leadership. Okay. It means leadership. If you are in your house in the Northwest sector, besides noblemen, one of the things you want to go become an apprentice to is people with great leadership that you want to aspire to become. Okay, if you are not doing that, using this sector, just putting water in this sector won't get that outcome. Okay, some of you are asking questions like, my kitchen is here, or your dog is there, whatever is there. It doesn't matter. As long as you are there, your activities need to support that star. Okay, here's what I need to explain to you. In Feng Shui, there are two things that you can change. Only two things. Number one is to change the environment, meaning you change the rooms or change areas. The second thing you can change is activities if you can't change the environment. So being in this sector, regardless of whether kitchen is there or not, if you are using that area, using for what? Most people think is, I'm sleeping there, you know, I'm using my kitchen is there, is relevant. The most important thing is, when you are there, are you doing any intellectual thinking or work? Because sometimes your intellectual thinking or work, it could only be just 1 hour. But that 1 hour in a good Feng Shui sector will allow you to boost your energy and perform things at a much better performance level and get the results that you want. So what you need to do is schedule your thinking time or your working time in that area. Okay? Sometimes it's less than an hour. When you may be thinking, but I think all the time. I'm just working, thinking, analyzing all the time. It's not true. We need to spend that 1 hour to analyze through our questions and the answers that we want in life. And if you do that in a good area, you're going to get that good outcome that you want. Okay? So these are the 4 sectors that you need to concentrate on majority of your time, or your working time or your thinking time in order to get outcome that you want. Okay, so these are the sectors. All right, now I'm going to go through some of these questions and hopefully can give you some answers to the questions that you have. Okay, let me see this. Yeah, where's the questions? Okay. Okay, I can see it now. Okay, so I'm only answering the questions that I think I have not covered. If I've already covered, I think you should just watch the video again to get the answers, okay? All right. Let's see now. Like Sok is asking, what about Dragon and Day Pillar? Please analyze it yourself. I've already given you the format of doing it. Remember, I always teach by teaching you how to fish. I don't necessarily give you the fish, okay? You need to think about it. So the clue is, what does the Day Pillar represent, okay? If you know what it represents, then you know what the clash into the Day Pillar means, all right? So that answers your question. If I don't have horse, this is for Ohad. If I don't have a horse but have a yin fire in the chart, does it count? The answer is no. Okay, Jonah says horse in the day. Okay, I don't know what that question means. Justin says, if the element is in the hidden branch, is it counted? The answer is yes, but it takes a lot of effort to uncover that element. Celia saying yin wood, year stem, yang fire, yang man. Okay, that's all right. I don't know what what's your question, okay? Okay. Ern Chi says, no wood in the natal chart, but in the luck pillar, is it considered to have? The answer is no. Faith Balu is saying, how to deal with a clash plus a bullying punishment? You don't, because this topic is not about that. You don't need to worry about that in your chart right now. Okay. Okay. All right. So now I think, no, Andrew, you covered parts of Feng Shui. Okay. I don't have time to cover, I covered some Feng Shui, but I don't have time to go through the Chi Men chart today. Okay. Because we've reached our time limit for today. Perhaps we will have another time later on. At some point, I might go a bit deeper. And I'm actually writing an article that talks about the Chi Men chart for 2018. If you're in Singapore, hopefully I can get it published by the age. If I don't get it published, then possibly we will have it on our website for everyone to actually read on it. Okay. All right. Curly is saying, how to mitigate 2018 when someone is sleeping in an area that is 7 killings and can't move, please? To do that, Curly, the answer is to enhance the good sectors. You can't mitigate the bad, but you can enhance the good so that you get enough help in your real life in order to support all the challenges that come along the way as a result of sleeping in a bad sector. Okay? Ethan is asking, if Rooster in year month chart, will this guy to hire him? Well, the answer is not about whether hiring someone at rooster in the chart. It really depends on what are you looking for in the first place. All right, someone that has rooster in the chart basically means that it's going through some changes in the year. Maybe it's changing job to join you. That's why you have rooster in the chart, right? So Tay is asking, what if I've got a good element in the not so good, both good element and bad element in the same pillar? Basically, it means it's a mixed year. Okay, a lot of people have both good and bad at the same time. So some part of it you enjoy, some part of it is not so favorable. You see, when we don't have the luck in the year, doesn't mean it's a bad year. It just means that you work harder. Not every year you get external help from other people in life, you know. So sometimes you got to do some of the work yourself. Even so, for me, not every year in my life, you know, I had it easy. Sometimes we have to work, you know, without the luck. So we have to put more effort in getting what we want. Okay, that's what it means. Okay. Lily is asking, what can I do with the southeast sector that is missing? Okay, can I remedy it? Answer is no. You can't remedy a missing sector forever and ever. Okay, missing is missing forever. So what to do? Work on areas that are not missing in your house. Why would you be working on a missing sector, right? Work on areas that's not missing in your house. Joe is asking, well, put water, a glass of water? Of course not. You got to put substantial, huge ass water in order to activate the chi. You can't just put like glass of water. I mean, do you actually think this can activate your feng shui? Come on, right? You got to put a big water, big enough for the chi to collect, to activate it. I would say a minimum of a 3-foot size water. Okay, this deep. At least, okay? And open top in order for it to actually collect the chi in order to activate the water. Okay. Claudia is saying, if I have main door in northwest, is activated hexagram officer? The hexagrams are never activated by a door. It's activated by activity. So if you do the right activity, it will be activated. Don't do the activity, it's just a dormant hexagram. So Walker saying, if southeast is the kitchen in the house, how do I get the benefit for education? Water in the southeast and then pursuing academic pursuits. That's for Walker is asking the question. Okay. Sok is asking, do you need moving water or just still water? The water should be, at least have a pump to keep it moving. You don't want to have overactive water, is no good. Just a little bit moving, that will be good enough. Okay. Abhinav is saying, can I put aquarium north? Definitely no, because north is a negative sector with 5 yellow. It's extremely dangerous, so don't do that. Okay, so I think I've answered a lot of the questions already. Now, let me show you the upcoming program. Some of you may be in Malaysia at this time. Okay, so okay, yeah. So there, I don't know, some of you are in the Achievement program. This is a quick announcement, okay? There will be the Achievement Academy live in Kuala Lumpur on the 3rd to the 5th of March. And Achievement Academy live will be in Orlando on 17th to the 19th of March. If you are in that area, or if you have not already, you're from the Achievement Academy, please contact your representative and get in touch quickly to reserve your seats. If you want to get into that program, please let us know quickly. So that we could arrange, okay, for this. Yeah. All right. So for those of you who are in Malaysia, the next Feng Shui and Astrology would be in 27 and the 28th. There will be a full day event, Feng Shui and Astrology 2018. For those of you who want to learn more, there will be on February 8th, starting every day, there'll be 2 episodes. The Feng Shui Odyssey 2018. You can watch it on joeyup.com/2018. There'll be a lot more materials where I'm going into the year, and you will be able to watch and learn a lot from that program. And it is free, okay? You can watch it on that program, okay? And also the 12 Animal Signs on joeyup.com/2018. Watch it and practice, okay? You see the animal sign videos, forward it to all your friends, tag your friends who are born on that sign or have that in the chart, teach them how to read the animal signs in their chart. The more you do that, the more you will be able to master the subject and be able to interpret the chart. Because once you do that, once you do that, you would be able to help them out. Okay, can I just have this slide now? Yeah, don't move it. So, Okay, so that will be that's it, right, for the day. So thank you so much for logging in, and I hope I'll see you in one of our live events very soon. Thank you. Have a good evening.